What are you doing?
Oh, sorry, just, tweeting away.
Tweeting away. You're always tweeting, aren't you?
Yep.
My son's getting into the tweeting now. He sent a bunch of tweets yesterday. So why are you tweeting?
Well, I tweet about everything. I love to tweet. I love to Twitter. I love to.
Yeah.
I learned so much stuff on Twitter. I follow ABC and I follow a bunch of sports and stuff. So yeah, it's interesting.
It is. It just keeps growing and growing, and I try to do it in a class a little bit, but yeah, it's fun. Like I said, my son's really getting into it now. All about?
Yes, I do actually. It's when someone portrays to be a company, and they're not even a part of it. I know, for one example, someone pretended to be BP when BP had their oil well spill in the Gulf of Mexico, killing 11 people and injuring 17. And they pretended to be BP, and they would tweet. It wasn't too risky, but at the same time, they would tweet some things that made people kind of wonder if it really was BP, when actually he didn't have anything to do with BP, but people were believing that he was a part of them.
Yeah. So you've got to be careful of that and making sure it's who you are. So that's a great example of the hijacking there and taking the identity of another person. Other things with talk about Twitter and accounts, like official or verified. What other things are associated with that?
Yeah, like you can see on Twitter if they're verified, meaning it's supposed to be the person. That's why with the BP, the verified version of BP Twitter account, they had only 20,000 followers, but this guy actually who was pretending to be BP, he had over 200,000. So you could kind of see how like his were more interesting. So people were like, oh, let's follow BP when it wasn't BP at all.
Wow.
So yeah. It's kind of crazy.
All about followership there.
Exactly.
And getting people to do that.
Exactly.
So even Twitter and tweeting and all that, but the internet is just very powerful in itself. And people that don't understand it really shy away from it. But on the integrated marketing side, it can be very powerful to attract customers and that whole part as well. So let's just talk about and there's budgets and all of this. Let's just talk about some other ways that people can advertise. Leading their customers onto the internet.
TV and billboards, they often say, especially now, I noticed, find us on Facebook and stuff like that.
So what is hashtag, by the way? We're going to step back. What is the hashtag?
Hashtag is something where you can see if you hashtag and then a word or several words with no spaces, if someone else is tweeting about that at the same time, worldwide or anything, you can see. So let's say you're tweeting about the Minnesota Twins and you hashtag Minnesota Twins. You can click on that, it'll turn a different color, and then you can see everyone else who at the time or that day is tweeting about the Minnesota Twins. So it's kind of an easy reference to get information, I guess. Yeah. And
then that goes back into the power of numbers and more people that are doing it. All those aspects, you're seeing it. Tweet, all over the place. When you talk about websites, they generate it, and you're looking at today's society. They're not just display, but they bring in more. What other things can just a basic website bring in?
Websites are really good. People, they go to them, and first of all, they're really creative these days. Everyone's website is really colorful, whatever, and they don't just give impossible. So it definitely kind of widens what you can do with knowing about their company.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are out there as well. You see those little, I can't even remember what they're called now, but the little boxes, and you can scan it. And what are those called? Do you know what those are called?
I forget.
But the scan box, and you scan it, and then that'll take you right to someone's website, and then you can get more information. And it's just that quick, or the barcode. There's the barcodes that you can scan in the store, and all of a sudden you pop up and you get all that information on it. And that's part of it. But the websites, you want them to be interactive. You want them to engage people and make it easy for them to move around within there. But yeah, there's unlimited information that you can put in there, and I think that's great. I remember doing our website when we first started out. The first one we did, we paid too much for what the bells and whistles, and there's just things that we didn't need, and we backed that down, and we paid a lot less for our company's website, and we were able to maintain it and do the things, and actually we got some good reviews and other people as well. But sometimes you can go overboard with the bells and whistles, and you just got to be careful with all of that stuff as you're going. So simplifying it might be beneficial at times as well.
Definitely.
One of the websites that when there's buzz out there, thinking about how do you see a website helping with creating a buzz?
Well, I guess it gets people talking about it, and it gets people, even when they're not online, did you hear about this? That's kind of the whole buzz aspect, and then that leads people to, even if you, this is a little off topic, but if you think about all the games these days, I don't know if your kids or anything play any of those iPod games or whatever, and one person has it, and then, do you play this? And then they get it, and then pretty
Temple
soon,
Run.
Temple Run.
I know,
is the
daughter
big
always
one.
wants my
Yes.
phone. Can I play Temple Run? She always so.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's one way.
So you keep drawing people in with all of that and as well. But there are also some bad things about the internet and some of those aspects. What are some things that pop to your mind?
The pop-ups and the pop-downs, and going back to Temple Run or any of those kind of games, they always have, if you get the free trial, there's always ads then in between every game or whatever that you're like, it's kind of a bum deal. But yeah, the pop-ups I hate the pop-downs, the ones where don't pop up right off the bat, and then you're done with your thing and you close it, and there they are right there. They were hidden, so.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so those are, definitely, they kind of surprise you, and, and then even within a web page, you've got different aspects of like banners and all of those, and you want to anything else, when it comes to some of those types of ads that you can think of?
I know that like with the paid searches, like if you go on Google and the top like 3 are ones that they pay for, and sometimes those are really good and sometimes they're not. So I guess you kind of just have to also be careful of which website you're going to make sure you look through it thoroughly, because they might have paid for that #1 spot, but it might not be the best.
Yeah,
one out there.
They kind of track and they do all this stuff, and then certain searches, but you'll see things on the other side that kind of follow what you're doing. Do you know what that's kind of called? When people they're
Behavioral targeting?
Behavioral targeting, yes. What do you know about behavioral targeting?
I think it's a little weird. Like they can track what you're looking at, and then they can show you your interest, or they know kind of what you're interested in. So let's say you're kind of interested in cars, so you visit a bunch of car websites. Eventually you're gonna get ads that are more related to automobiles and stuff like that. Or on Facebook, on the side of like the Facebook, you can click like, this ad was not relevant to me, why? And then you tell them why. Yeah. So next time they know that, let's give her more makeup stuff instead of cars, So I don't know. I mean, it's good. It's very good. It definitely gets your attention, and it relates to each person. Yeah. But
there's a lot of money to be made within the internet and the ads, and if you do it properly, it can be very good. So there's advantages and disadvantages to the internet. You want to start out with some advantages of that and list some?
Sure. Some advantages are obviously easy target markets. Just targeting to the group of customers the business decides to target its product toward. Message tailoring, so kind of customizing what you want your message to say. Interactive capabilities, obviously this is a big one with the with newspapers and whatnot. You can't have that interactive, you can't play those games or pick what style you see is what you get, whereas the internet you can find, it seems like you're always finding different ways around the website. Sales potential, this just lets customers buy things in a greater amount. You can click quantities 75, That's easy. Creativity, and even get worldwide exposure with the internet with just even the smallest ad anyone around the world can view. Speed, obviously, well, I guess if your internet's slow, but again, it's just, it's out there worldwide. Yeah. And then just complement to IMC, it works with the customers. You can choose, you're kind of there, you're picking around, it's you.
Okay. Works in with the whole integrated marketing
Exactly.
Part of that. But there's also some disadvantages, and some of the disadvantages would be measurement. You can track clicks and page views, and when it comes to ads or moving around within the internet. But if there's ads up on the side or other aspects, you don't know if people are really noticing them, and so it's hard to measure a lot of times. The value of that. That's probably one of the biggest ones. Clutter, a lot of times there gets to be too much stuff going on, and you just ignore it, and things get lost. So your ad might get lost within a web page or something on the internet. Potential for deception. This happened to me recently. I was starting up another business, and I had to go register on something on the IRS. And when I went there, I went to which I thought was the IRS site. It was looked like it, and so I did it. And as soon as I did it, I said, "This isn't right." They were charging me too much money, and you've got to be very cautious of all of that when it comes to deception, because people can make websites look like other people's websites, and so you got to be careful of that. Privacy is probably one of the other disadvantages. What is Google collecting on you, or Facebook, or what kind of information? Sometimes you get kind of creepy feelings sometimes of what they're collecting. So where is your privacy? How is that being invaded? And then just the whole irritation of pop-ups and pop-downs and all of these other aspects, the irritation of what's going on out there. So those are some of the disadvantages of with the internet. So this kind of wraps it all up. Any last kind of final comments on the internet and stuff like that?
Oh, well, can't live with it, can't live without it, kind of a thing. Like
Yep.
It's everywhere now. So.
Yeah, that's right. So it definitely is a benefit to businesses, and if you do it professionally and you do a good job with it, it's going to help your business and your whole integrated marketing aspect of tying things together. So, all right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.